On today's episode of I'm a lazy girl who wants really good footage but I don't want to do too much, we're going to talk about SLog. Now I'm a little bit embarrassed because I recommend to everyone and their mother that they shoot in D-Log with the DJI Pocket 3 because it's that easy. Now this is true because DJI makes it to be easy. Sony shooting in SLog, it's not as easy, but I've been letting myself be intimidated off of shooting for it for far too long, and it's not that hard if you don't make it that hard. In typical Becca fashion, I dumbed it down for myself and got it to a point where I can actually understand what I'm shooting with, what I like, what I don't like, and I'm gonna pass that on to you. Hopefully you find this helpful, and if not, well, it's here anyways. So we're gonna cover the three big ones, which is settings, editing, and export. Now, before we get into SLog, let's talk manual settings and the three main settings that are important to your shooting. The first is going to be ISO. So think of this as your camera's light sensitivity. Low ISO is less sensitive, you have a cleaner image, but you need more natural light. Now, if you're going high ISO, you're going to be more sensitive. It works in darker spaces, but it can make your footage look grainy. So your cheat sheet here is in bright daylight, I like to hover ISO around 100 and then adjust everything else accordingly. If you're indoors or it's nighttime, you're gonna wanna bump that ISO up. The next setting is shutter speed in this bottom left-hand corner. That's basically your camera's eyelid and how fast it blinks. So a fast blink is gonna be something like 1/500. It's going to be great for action, but can feel a little bit stiff. A slower blink is going to be like 1/50. This lets in more light and motion blur so it feels smoother, but it can smear if it's a little too slow. My cheat sheet is double your frame rating. So I like to shoot at 30 frames per second. So I like to keep my shutter speed at 1/60 and then just adjust as needed. And then the last setting to know is gonna be your aperture or your f-stop. This is how big your camera's pupil is. So a big pupil will be a low number. So mine gets as low as 2.8. This lets more light in. It gives you a nice dreamy and blurred background and will really let the subject stand out. A small pupil would be a high number. So for example, f8. It lets less light in, but it has more of the scene in focus. If you want a nice blurry background, go low. If you want everything in sharp image, go high. 2.8 is my personal preferred f-stop. Now let's get into the SLog settings. I have the Sony ZV-E1, so here's how I did mine. I went into shooting. You're gonna go into image quality / record. We're gonna scroll down to log shooting settings, and then you're gonna turn it on. For me, it's on, flexible ISO. Color gamut, I did the sgamut 3.cine and then /slog3, and then I chose embed LUT file on. Now that you've set up SLog on your camera, you're gonna wanna apply the actual LUT so that you can see what it looks like. For me, I actually had ChatGPT help me. I found a LUT that I liked, and then I had it tweak it to match the DJI Pocket 3 LUT more closely because that is my favorite color recovery option. So after I had that downloaded, and I can link it if anybody wants it, I don't gatekeep around here. After you have it, you're gonna wanna save it to the SD card that you're using on your camera. Then you're gonna go to your exposure / color setting. You're gonna go down to color tone, and where it says select LUT, we're gonna apply our LUT. So I put it in user 1, and then here is my import. It's this Sony SLog DJI style. The last setting that I adjust is my white balance. I do leave it to auto white balance. The only change I made is that I switched A2, so I made it a little bit warmer, and then I did M1, which is a little bit more magenta tone. And that just matches the exact color profile that I've been trying to get, which is the DJI Pocket 3. And that's it for my settings. I know that went pretty fast, but I wanted to keep it basic. I will try to create a lazy girl SLog cheat sheet that I'll attach in this video. I'll put it right here to help people out if they want a little bit more time to go through everything. But now let's get into actual editing and exporting. So straight out the camera, because it's SLog, it's going to be completely desaturated. There's no color, and this is with the intent of adding the color back in through your LUT. In this section, I'm going to apply the LUT, which adds all the colors back in, and it's really close to what I want my final version to look like, but not quite because I am a CapCut fanatic. The last step is going to be to apply Quality Mark 1, which is a filter in the Pro version of CapCut. But the LUT in combination with Quality Mark 1 is just my absolute favorite, and it always gives me the best footage that I could want inside the gym, outside of the gym, anywhere that I go. It's always this combo that I'm looking for.
Show me that don't need no money, don't need nobody, just need your body. Show me that so sweet like honey, don't need no talking, just need your body.
Hopefully you enjoyed those test shots. I really just wanted to show off the color profile and then the quality one on top of it to show really why I like it so much. I feel like the colors are so vivid and vibrant, and it really just gives a great look. That is my lazy girl tutorial for SLog. I went through it fast, so hopefully it explains enough. For me, tutorials work best when I dumb them down. I figured I'll pass along my own dumbed down knowledge, and hopefully that makes you a little bit more comfortable shooting in SLog, because I want us all to have great quality footage. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have specific questions about settings, I will do my best to answer. Let me know if there's any other tutorials that you would like to see, and let's get out there and record.